Afternoon, everybody. I'm still in Stewart, Iowa. Just woke up, so I'm still wearing my dragon shirt. Anyway, um, wanted to answer Vivian's question about removing snow off of trucks. It's a touchy subject. Um, there's nowhere really to, where at truck stops or anything that to do it. Um, there has been equipment that's been, I guess, invented or whatever. Kind of a just like kind of like a snowplow on a frame. It's up high. You can drive under it, set it down on your trailer, drive forward, and it pushes the snow off. Um, you see, the only place I've ever seen them is some of the big grocery outlet warehouses that have their own local delivery trucks. That's the only place I've ever seen them. Uh, and whether they let you use them or not, it's kind of up to them. Do they want to take any kind of liability if you damage the truck or whatever? I've never seen them in truck stops. I've never seen them in rest areas. I've never seen them anywhere else. Um, it's pretty dangerous to climb on top of your trailer, especially when it's covered in ice and snow. Um, I forget what the rule is for OSHA. When you get above a certain height, you got to be harnessed and cabled in, attached, so you don't, if you fall, it breaks your fall. Um, so yeah, and so it doesn't happen much. I've seen trucks, that have huge amounts of snow on them, end up creating like a dovetail on the back of the trailer, this big pile of snow. I've seen those. I've never had it that bad on my truck. Um, you get, a half inch of snow or so, but as long as it's just snow, usually you're fine. By the time you start rolling, the wind blows it off, and you're okay. But you get a lot of snow on there, then it starts piling up and doing weird things, and then it starts to ice up, and then you get chunks of ice coming off. Um, there's actually a website I looked at uh, discussing it, and there was somebody had posted questions about it, some really good questions, and I'll put the link in the description if I remember. um, and it's all about how these things supposed to happen, who's liable for what. Um, it gets pretty sticky, about that kind of thing. A driver gets hurt, who's liable? Um, is the state liable because they have the law up that we have to clean it off, and there are states that do. Um, is the company liable? Who's liable? If you damage the trailer, damage the load, you poke a hole in the trailer doing it, then water gets in the trailer and damages the load. Who's liable for the load? So it gets pretty sticky. Um, like I said, I'll put that link in the description, and they talk about it. And about halfway down the page, you'll see the list of questions. She asked a lot of questions about it. The girl that posted on there. Some really good questions. Uh, so far, I haven't had to climb up on top of a trailer. At least not on a kind of trailer I pull now. I've been pretty lucky, I guess. I mean, like I said, I've seen trailers right here with piles of snow up there, and it gets pretty bad. The thing is, people gotta, other drivers, whether you're in a car or a truck, you gotta pay attention to that. And during the wintertime, don't follow close. You look, you see that snow up there. You know it can blow off anytime. You don't want to be too close in case it does. And it's not just on top of the trailer. Our landing gear, our fuel tank for the reefer, the DOT bumper on the back of the trailer. All that collects ice and snow, builds up on it from picking up off the road and whatnot. And the back of the doors. Well, I've seen ice that thick on the back of a door just because swirls up and sticks to the door, and the pile starts piling up. And then you go down the road and you hit a bump, and that just falls off. And while you're driving, there's not really much you can do about it. But every time I stop, and I try to stop often during the winter, I go back there, anytime I'm fueling or whatever, I go back there and I start kicking some of that stuff off so it doesn't fall off on the road. Not only that, but it adds weight to the trailer. And you cross the scale and you're overweight because you got a bunch of ice on there, you still get a ticket for it. Even though you can just go out there and knock it off. You should have knocked it off before you crossed the scale. So, yeah. It's a kind of a rough subject because, like, right here, I'm in this little bitty truck stop here. They have no equipment to brush snow off the top. And there's no way for me to climb up there. Some trailers have their little steps are about that big around. They're little bitty things. And I'm not even sure they'll hold my weight. But there's no handles to hold on to. So climbing up the trailer is very dangerous. Yeah, so I don't do it. I just, let the wind do it. That's all I can do. When I first take off, I get enough speed to the wind starts blowing it off the top. And yeah, it'll create a whiteout behind me for a little while. And you just hope that nobody, people are paying attention, they see it, and you just stay out of it until it stops, because it will stop eventually. By the time you go a mile or so down the road, it clears up. But, yeah, it's kind of left up to other drivers to pay attention and watch out for it. Don't follow too close. If you see it happen, try to avoid it. And if you're not too close, you'll be alright. It'll hit the ground and it'll bust into pieces and you'll be alright. If they fall off the landing gear, if they're up to big, huge chunks, you probably don't want to get your undercarriage hit by one of them, but most of the time they'll break. Sometimes they'll be pretty solid. They might do some damage, so be careful. But you don't want if that kind of condition is gone, then it means the roads are nasty. You don't want to try to swerve to miss it, because then you can cause yourself a wreck. So it's a touchy subject. That's all we can do right now until they can get some kind of I think the states that have the laws for that, which is pretty much, I would guess, all the northern states, until they can provide some kind of equipment to do it, or some kind of safe way of doing it. Maybe the manufacturers will build trailers or something. I thought maybe you can probably go into a truck wash and have them spray it off. That might help, but then you got a bunch of water up there you have to get off because it'll freeze. Then you got chunks of ice again. But I think that'd be the safest way of doing it. Of course, it'll cost you money. They're not going to do it for free, if they'll even do it, because then then they got to deal with a pile of snow off the top of your truck. And yeah, it'll melt, but there's still a bunch of water that they got to do away with or whatever. Dirty water. So that's my thoughts on it. Don't really, you do what you can. That's all I can think. Anyway, I'll link that thing is in the description. Check it out. She asked a lot of good questions. Yeah. I'll talk to you guys later. I'm about to leave out of here and go trucking here in about, half hour or so. So have a good day.